think I can. Fire at the disco. Fire at the disco. Fire at the Taco Bell. Fire at the disco. Fire at the disco. Fire at those gates of hell.
Fire at will!
Well, don't you want to know where we keep starting fires? It's my desire.
I'm a fire starter, a twisted fire starter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of Riker's Beard Live. It's fantastic, as always, to be here, and fantastic to be in such very fine company. Not you, you little yellow bastard. I'm talking about you, James. How the devil are you, champ?
Good evening. Yes, I'm all right. I definitely didn't fall asleep just before we came on air.
And Carl, it's increasingly more of a privilege because you're so busy now, but thank you for making the time to come on with us, mate.
It's no effort whatsoever. Absolutely love it.
It's just lovely to see you. Honestly, it's like, do you know when a certain person's face, like this is a compliment. It's not going to sound like one. But there's a comedian who famously once said, a woman said to me, I only have to look at you and I laugh. Well, I only have to look at you and I smile, Carl. Just seeing your face makes me
stop. You're going to make me blush.
Who's aboard this evening? Please make yourself known in the comments. We'll have a wave. Say who you are, where you're from, favourite show, favourite character, favourite movie, all that jazz. We'd love to hear from you. Well, we've got a lot to Well, this is the nice thing about doing a Star Trek show. We've got new Star Trek out to talk about, so we can explore it. And this one, you know, we've got. This is going to be a whole episode because we've got a big trip back into Deep Space Nine. Things. This is going to be nice.
Ooh,
but first of all. But first of all, how the devil are you, James?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. How can it already be Sunday night again? I can't go back to work again tomorrow.
So,
I don't know.
All right. And was your weekend enhanced by watching some new Star Trek?
Yes, it was.
Good.
Yes.
Very pleased to hear that.
I did give more than 5 out of 10 to this week's episode.
More than 5 out of 10.
Mm.
Wow. I mean, it was. We'll get into the Easter eggs and the little nods in a bit, but I had to pause it several times this week to explain things to my children who haven't watched Deep Space Nine as to why. Oh, they're doing that because of that, and they're doing that because of that. So that was good. Carl, how the devil are you, champ?
I'm very, very well. Very well. Little blurry-eyed, but yeah, other than that, not too bad.
Well, you look fantastic. I mean,
I can see myself, and you know, I get it.
Yeah.
And the slightly off-piste from Trek, but the Muppets started again this week. That was great.
Oh, I gave that 10 out of 10.
It was so nice.
That was brilliant.
I haven't watched it, but were the two old gits in the balcony there? The Waldorf.
Oh, yeah. We're back.
Waldorf. Yeah, they were there.
And what celebrity did we have on?
Sabrina, was it Sabrina Carpenter?
Yes. Kind of like the new version of Dolly Parton.
She's like a pop strumpet.
Okay, right.
A popular musician.
They're keeping it relevant. Marvellous. So let's say hello to Gary. Hey, Gary, how are you doing? Oh. Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy? Amanda, the lovely Amanda, my favourite cosplayer ever. James, how you doing, buddy? Leah. This is awkward. Also my favourite cosplayer ever.
Oopsie.
I know how it is.
Right, let's use next in the list then.
This week's episode was my favourite so far. The bar was pretty... It was... Yeah, I think this is the best episode they've done so far. I'll agree with that. And on that note, as I was reminded by my colleagues, possibly last week when I vented much frustration at last week's episode, I didn't give clear reasons why. Because genuinely, I think it did upset me to the extent I felt I couldn't be objective. So I think maybe this week, not going to just very briefly explain why I disliked last week's episode so much. So James and I both live deep in Farage country, and around here we have a very anti-refugee sentiment that goes on. And I'm the opposite persuasion. I staunchly support and fight for the rights of refugees and think we should have as many of them as we can cope with in this country because it's our moral obligation to do so. Last week's episode of Star Trek was an echo chamber for people who already have that point of view. And that's a fucking waste, right? Okay, you don't have an echo chamber. You explore different ideologies and you ask yourselves questions. Otherwise, all you're doing is looking for a round of applause from your peers who already agree with you. And that's just pathetic from Star Trek. That's proper lowest bar. And that's why I felt it was the worst episode of Star Trek I've ever seen. So agree or disagree with me, whatever. And I do concede that possibly, maybe the writers, it wasn't their intent. Maybe certain scenes got edited out. I don't know. But that's how it came across to me. And that's why it angered me so much. That's why it really frustrated me. But moving on to this week's episode, walk down memory lane. I mean, well, let's have a quick, because I know that Carl was a little tired. Let's have James recap the episode for us.
Okay, well, I fell asleep halfway through it and rewound it twice to see the end. But yes, so this episode featured around the holographic cadet called Sam.
Or as I like to call her, Eric Cartman. Sorry.
Which stands for, Carl? Series Acclamation Mill.
Series Acclamation, yeah.
Yeah. And at the beginning, all the titles went a bit funny, and it appeared we were in an episode of something from the Disney Channel. And then it turned into an episode of Mork and Mindy, where Mork was calling Orson. And no, literally, I mean, it was the booming voice coming down from the heavens.
Yep.
As the voice.
Do you think that was intentional?
I think it probably was. The writers have done stuff like that. They did it with Strange New Worlds and the nod to Alien, didn't they? So I think they are, and they referenced Buffy in Strange New Worlds as well. So there's been a lot of cross-franchise references recently.
See, I don't know, Carl, because when we've said that we're not necessarily convinced this is aimed at us, at our particular demographic, if this is about picking up younger viewers, they're not going to recognise Mork and Mindy, which was in the 1980s.
And also, the writers probably won't remember it. The writers are probably considerably younger than us and probably have nose rings and all sorts.
Yes. So anyway, Sam, who's really, really cool, according to all her peers.
And definitely not like Eric Cartman.
Could you do your impression for us of Sam, Richard?
He gets to do two impressions this week.
And obviously we've got the classic one shortly.
We've got your classic.
Mama was not on the cover of Crack Hall magazine. Anyway, she says you're very young. She needs the money.
Yeah. So indistinguishable there from Sam. Sam decided that she was going to investigate an unfathomable mystery. And the mystery that she chose was the fate of Captain Benjamin Sisko, which, as we learn in the 32nd century, is still an outstanding mystery. He's never A friend of mine sent me the Quantum Leap card at the end that says Dr. Sam Beckett never returned home. Scratched out Sam Beckett and put Captain Sisko in there. Yes, he never came back, and he's listed officially as missing in action. And the cadets do suggest that if he's been missing for 800 years, it's probably likely he's dead. But then why must we be so linear?
Yeah, they don't understand how the whole Celestial Temple thing works then, do they?
No,
I mean,
they don't. In fairness,
I prefer he was dead than wandering around without his shoes on, pretending to be a head of an academy.
So, I mean, she dives into the history of Benjamin Sisko. She goes to the Sisko Museum, which is itself a bit confusing because it features things like Benny Russell's typewriter. You go, well, hang on, he never was actually Benny Russell. That was that's confusing as to whether we're confusing timelines there. And his uniform's there, and it looks terrible. I don't know if any of the cosplay fans noticed that, but Sisko's uniform was covered in belts and loops and things for attaching phasers and tricorders that you never saw in the series. Maybe it was just me that noticed that. But anyway, what we establish, having a wonderful cameo from Cyril Lofton as Jake Sisko, an older Jake Sisko, reading from his own work, his book.
Can I just interject and say that how I thought Cyril Lofton delivered a really good performance.
Superb.
Absolutely superb, yeah.
And with his beard, he looked very much like Avery Brooks, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I mean, there were a couple of payoffs at the end. One is that it was disclosed that the professor of one of the classes at the academy was in fact Dax. Although there's some questions there because I didn't think not changelings, Trill were meant to live quite that long. It's another 800 years on.
Also, you have to be a pureblood Trill to be able to take on the symbiont.
Well, there was all that, wasn't there? That you had to find the right hosts and so on, which is how Esri ended up with Dax. But we now have a Cardassian stroke Trill host. But hey, medical science, 800 years.
I was going to say that bound to be something.
And did we get Benjamin Sisko at the end? Yes or no?
When you say, did we get him? How do you mean, did we get him?
Well, does he appear?
Yes, we see his visages in the clouds. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we hear his voice.
Now that actually, I'd like to settle this now. There's been a lot of controversy about this as to whether that was actually Avery Brooks or myself that did that at the end. I would like to confirm it definitely was not me. And the only person who can do Avery Brooks's voice as well as me that's not me is probably Avery Brooks. So there's your answer.
Yes, there is a voiceover from Avery Brooks at the end. However, I understand that was taken from his one of his albums with his permission from, which he gave to Cyril Lofton apparently to publish this clip. I must admit I didn't really understand why it was that he said what he did at the end. But yes, then his face appeared in the clouds if you look very, very carefully. But we know no more than we did before. He's still in the Celestial Temple. That's what we
Yes. I'll just jump in and ask Carl here because this episode was billed as solving the mystery of Benjamin Sisko. Did we solve it?
No.
What was the point of it then?
No.
Yeah, again, that's kind of been the theme of this series so far.
We'll tag on to two things though that James and yourself have just been mentioning. With regards to Sam's appearance, I'd go for Minnie Mouse, not Cartman, and that being a dig at Disney Plus owning every other sci-fi franchise ever now.
Yes.
That's what I take from that one. It's not that dissimilar to Princess Leia, and I think there's enough there to go. Princess Leia, Minnie Mouse, Disney. You don't own us yet, Disney. Stay away.
Yeah, there is no Disney princess, by the way.
Yeah. And the other bit I would latch on to there is the bit about the Trill thing in Discovery. Blue Del Barrio's character, can't remember her name. their name.
Yeah, well, Riker. I think Riker's had a trill in him at one point.
Riker's got rejected though, didn't it?
Yeah, but only as an emergency measure while they were waiting for someone else.
Yeah, yes, you're absolutely right. He took, but it's only temporarily. You have to be a trill.
However, Blue's character in Discovery wasn't a trill, and the symbiont took to the new host, and it was all to do with whether you could actually like mentally make the right connection, not physically.
Do you know that sounds a lot? Yeah, it sounds a lot like Discovery.
Yeah, so I think there is precedent for the symbiont being able to live in a different species host.
Didn't they say it was more about the fact that there were just not enough symbionts to go around, so they kind of created a legend that only so many people were actually able.
Yeah, and then there was that whole episode, which I actually quite enjoyed, that episode of Discovery where they were exploring.
Steady.
Yeah, no. Bear in mind, I have on many occasions defended Discovery episodes, the odd one here and there. But yeah, there was that episode where it was about. I really cannot remember the character. I can remember the actor's name, not the character. But yeah, there was the episode about them exploring the symbiont actually taking to the new host, where they had to revisit Trill. Yeah, and I think that would give it precedent for it being in any host.
Yeah, I've got a vague recollection of Discovery pissing all over trills. So, I mean, genuinely, it was a wonderful episode following on from last week's, which again made me very angry. This wasn't. No, there were some bits about it that made me angry, but on the whole, it was a bit of a love letter to DS9. So I enjoyed that, and I think from the start why are they having music classes? But she's got a theremin. I had to pause it. I said, "Kids, this is a theremin." What's the? I'm like, well, because that's what they used to do the music for start the original episodes. That's where it came from. You know, they're like, oh, whatever. Like, but that's cool. You know,
no, Richard.
You still have one, allegedly.
It's been with your brother for repairs for about 4 years now, and he ignores every message from me asking, "Can I have it back?"
I think about 6, but yeah. But there were lots of Easter eggs in this episode that I really enjoyed. I don't want to, similar to what we did with Discovery. You know, we can make it clear or whatever. People can stand where they like. For me, it was a pointless episode. It didn't really do anything. We didn't really get to know the characters that much better. It's what I call filler. And if it was going to be a love letter to DS9, well, let's actually have a proper love letter to DS9. Cyril Lofton was brilliant, loved his performance, everything. But let's have an explanation why we've got a crossbred Jem'Hadar Klingon thing. You know, they could have addressed and they could have done more with it. I felt I wanted to know more what happened to Bajor as well. That wasn't covered. You know, I was really invested after DS9 finding out what happened to Bajor in the coming.
Well, we know the Academy's got a Bajor society because Sam joined.
And there's lots of Bajorans in there, and it's great to find out they survived. But there was a lot. It could have been done better, which sounds very arrogant because I'm not a showrunner or a writer. Well, I am a writer, but you know, it's one of these ones where it was a throwaway episode for me. Last week's episode made me really angry because it was a dangerous topic they covered poorly and actually, I think, damaged real-world lives. This, I think, might have damaged a few people who love DS9 and really enjoy it. So let's jump into the comments and see what we think. As always, everyone's opinion is valid, so let's jump in. So, Alan, thank God. So it was Cisco.
In the clouds.
Yep.
With diamonds.
Glad the mystery was left. Generally, me too, actually, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad about that. Yeah, and this is why. This is what, as I'm getting older, I'm discovering more about religion. It's not about the religion, it's about faith. That is also not an answer. Well, there's not meant to be one. Hey, Rashid, how you doing, buddy? Martin, remember, you have to have faith in the heart. Absolutely.
We are boiling over with faith at the heart here on Riker's Beard Live.
So Leah didn't enjoy this. Her least favorite episode by far. I mean, I'll agree with half of that statement. Alan said, but I mean, is this because you're a big Deep Space Nine fan and you felt they didn't do it enough service, or a bit like me, it just felt like filler? To me, it felt like we're going to have to get Golden Era Trek fans on board, so let's do a bit of a homage to DS9, but they did a really shit job of it, is what it felt like to me.
I think the episode would have been better if to me, it felt like that took centre stage, and I don't think it should have done, because I think the episode was supposed to be about exploring Sam as a character, and that's the parts of it that I remember the least.
Yeah. Agree with
Do you remember the B plot, though, which is the War College commandant being trained to host a diplomatic dinner by Holly Hunter's character?
And that's something to do with a fish.
And a big fish sitting on the middle of the
wasn't that
it was.
Wasn't that a hilarious diversion?
The fish just at one point,
and then lots of forced laughter, like an American chat show. It was just, oh god, it was shit. Yes, indeed. Glad you agree. Leah says Dax is too old to still be around. Yeah,
very valid point. Yeah,
but like medical advances, Maybe she was trapped in a time loop somewhere, like Scotty. Stuff like don't let canon get in the way of a good episode, which is why I don't like the way they've cocked this up, because it wasn't a good episode.
Yeah, and Miss Dax spoke about Cisco as Benjamin, didn't she? And very strongly implied that it is the same Dax. It's not a descendant or anything of the kind.
Well, this is a brilliant statement, and also one I'd like to kind of reference here. So Rashid says the episode was absolutely brilliant in his opinion, which of course you're entitled to. The DS9 reference meant so much. Cisco is my captain. I've heard so many comments online, and it's 50-50 agreeing with you, and 50-50 DS9 lovers absolutely furious about this episode. Like, generally really, really, I'm kind of ambiguous either way, but actually feeling quite pissed off they didn't do as good a job as they should have done. Martin says it was a ship in a bottle episode. What we like to call filler. Yes, it was filler. And when honestly, when like TNG was like 26 episodes a season or whatever, like this season of Star Trek Academy is going to be like 4 episodes long, and there's already filler. What?
Well, it's 10 episodes, so we're halfway through.
Daniel says, Leah, it's a stretch, yes, but it's the future medical. Yeah, there's always a timey-wimey explanation, of course. Amanda says, when the Chancellor of the War College played the flute, it did a little bit. Yeah.
Have you ever seen on YouTube, excuse my language here, but have you ever seen the channel called Shitty Flute?
No.
Look it up, it's amazing. Honestly.
Is this fake taxi all again? I'm not Googling that again.
No. This is honestly just go onto YouTube and look
you sold us a dummy before.
Look up something like Jurassic Park Shitty Flute. It's
then
incredible.
Fake driving instructor. Not doing that again.
And this one time at band camp.
Yeah, genuinely didn't make me laugh at all. Just if they'd have done it like Police Academy, then fine. But it just didn't fit. It was just like a really rubbish joke. I mean, what was the point? It would, that sort of joke would be appropriate here, but not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that as well.
Did you? I tried to look at the family tree, but sort of Jake was in the middle of it, so it appeared there were lots of descendants going off. I couldn't be bothered to zoom in.
I mean, again, and I don't want to try and defend last week's episode, which I do still stand by being the worst episode of Star Trek ever made. You don't know what was left on the cutting room floor. You don't know how much they've cut out and quite often I think writers are thrown under a bus by the editing room, where it probably a lot of questions we felt should have been answered weren't, and the writers get a lot of stick, and it's showrunners like this Kurtzman clown that are actually responsible for it. So it's yeah. I think it's I think if I was to say I would love to see a director's cut of an episode, I think I'd love to see a director's cut of this episode. And I think possibly there would be a lot more to it than what we saw. It felt like it was a bit cut and shut together to me. Felt like it should have been a two-parter that was rammed into a one episode.
Oh, that gives me an idea for a new feature. I'll discuss this with you after the show.
Ramming too much into a... Oh, no. Right.
No, you're thinking of things Carl has told you about on the internet again.
Fake taxi. I saw the funniest meme, and it was real taxi. Oh, I've got no money, and the taxi driver just shoves her out the car. It's brilliant. Yeah, again, there was a...
Quite right.
It felt very much like there would have been bits of the episode left on the cutting room floor that would have explained why that typewriter was there, if that makes sense. I think possibly the writers maybe did a better job of this than we realised, and I think a lot of it was cut out for space. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, no jambalaya appeared in this episode.
No jambalaya appeared at all, which I thought was a crime. We had something else involving tomatoes, though.
Oh, that was about knowledge that Cisco grew tomatoes and was a big fan of tomatoes.
Well, they brought out a load of food. They brought out lots of food, but not jambalaya, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes, everybody enjoyed the food from Cisco's family restaurant, which we could have gone to visit. You know, it might, for all we know, it could have been the 32nd century version of McDonald's. Cisco's. You could order it on Just Eat, and it would be beamed to you.
So, I mean, let's talk about the rest of the episode. Obviously, that was the main theme, but we had not one but two subplots going on. The first one was the cringeworthy subplot about the dinner that's going to be hosted that we don't ever get to see or find out anything about. It was just... Before we move on, let's quickly go on to why Leah, frustrated because it's Band Love Letter DST, but Deep Space Nine, I think it means, but got so much canon wrong. Get it right, do the research. Again, it felt like they maybe cut bits out, but
I think they were just trying to rely on a bit of love from DS9 and really rather misused it, unfortunately.
Well, that's what it felt like to me. It was an obvious. They got their fishing rods out and said, "How can we get Golden Era Trekkies on board with this? So let's just ram this right to the front." Is what it felt. It felt poorly done to me. I might be wrong, but it felt wrong.
Have you noticed in Holly Hunter's office where she has that cabinet full of model starships? There's at least one Enterprise D in there, if not two. There's a Voyager in there. I think there's an Excelsior class and maybe an Oberth. So that's all 23rd, 24th century stuff, which is incidentally 400 years earlier than Holly Hunter's character, who's meant to be 400 years old. So she's looking back at that stuff. It's fascinating to me that that's there for us, I think, but there's nothing in between. So we don't know anything about the intervening 6 or 7 centuries that have occurred. We know the Enterprise J, for example. We know what that looks like because Doug Drexler has shown it to us, but it didn't appear in her cupboard.
I mean, from the writing, it would appear that in that time period, nothing of any interest happened.
Nothing at all.
No.
There's 100 years where they can't travel anywhere, so that's 100 years taken care of, but there's 700 left, unaccounted for.
Yeah. But anyway, so the subplots. Let's go back to... So we had the main subplot, which was the dinner with the farting fish. I mean, on a scale
There's
of
a name for one of our books, Richard.
let's just strip everything else away. This was meant to be comic relief for the episode. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find it funny?
No, not really.
No. Did you actually cringe a little bit? Be like, because Rob Ricardo is such a good comedic actor. You know, all the best comedy from Voyager came from him. A bit from Neelix, but mostly from him. Like his comic timing and everything is brilliant. And I was just cringing the whole time watching this, going, "What?" That is just. I mean, honestly, the forced laughter from Tig, it was just. Oh, I felt like vomiting a rainbow. And again, what was all that?
Well, that actually happened at the end, didn't it?
Oh God.
Yes.
So that subplot. I mean, how did we feel? How did that sit with you and you, our audience? How do we enjoy the subplot of the dinner that was being planned?
Well, I'm fascinated by the whole point at the beginning that Commandant Lassard, I'm going to call him that because I can't think what his actual name is.
Crack.
So we'll call him Commandant Lassard.
No,
he's eating the oceans.
No, let's call him Harris.
Mauser.
Oh, Mauser, yes. Let's call him Mauser.
Mauser he had the eyebrows as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And every single one of the War College students can just be referred to as Proctor then.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Proctor!
I don't see any salad bar.
Yes. Yeah, he was heating the oceans up because this ambassador had some attack eels as his or her personal bodyguard. And Ollie Hunter says, "Well, what happens if you're on land?"
I think it was meant to be funny. It just came across as being effing stupid. I mean, sorry, but that's how I felt. How did you feel about it, Carl?
Fairly indifferent. Yeah. Again, I think it was. But no, it felt like a forced attempt at a B plot for no real reason or development. No one seemed to come out the other side. We didn't come out the other side knowing anyone any better. Really,
we didn't have a good laugh. Well, we did.
We found out that a fish that doesn't look like a fish in the middle of a table can randomly deflate. Yeah. Maybe I need to watch it again. I've only watched it once. When
I wouldn't do that if I were you. No, I certainly have no intention of. So there's certain things you think I'm going to watch that again because it can't have been that bad. And I've never done that with any episode of Discovery. And I did it with.
Tell you what, if you're watching this on, you're watching Academy on Paramount. When you get to the end of the latest episode, it automatically queues you up an episode of Discovery, and I'm on my remote control going, "Stop!" What would make you think I want to watch this?
But I attempted to rewatch the new Superman film as well because I thought that can't be as bad as I thought. Right?
I've not watched it yet. I
mean, I know you will do, but on my rewatch, I switched it off after 15 minutes. I just went, no.
Oh, wow.
It was that bad. It wasn't as bad as like Section 31, but it was. It was really bad. Yeah. But
in the comments,
you know,
if anyone thinks there's any redeeming features of Section 31, please do let us know. I mean, do you want to see a sequel to that?
Section 32.
Section 31, subsection 2.
Yeah.
So then we had another subplot going on, and this was the continued rivalry between the War College and Starfleet, which I quite like. I think if you're going to have a series called Starfleet Academy, you got to have some student shenanigans. Okay,
yeah, you got to have the fraternity rivalry.
I'm pretty but this is. I don't like the fact there's just two fraternities. There's Starfleet and War. I think I think they could have been a bit clever with that. But either way, we've got it.
Explain to us what War College is. I mean, is it like the Makos? Is that what it is?
I think it's kind of like the holdover of, because Academy disappeared for 120 years, didn't it? And they were only training people to fight because the Federation were in survival mode.
Yeah,
I think it's they've realised that they have to have a specific military branch, very similar to them realising an Enterprise needed the Makos. And I really hope they pay some decent homage to Enterprise and include the Makos in the War Academy bit of Starfleet Academy. But we'll see if they do or they don't. I think it'd be great if they did. But we'll see. We'll see where they go with that.
So what of course has happened in this subplot, everyone, is as we know, Starfleet Academy only has about 24 cadets, and the War College pretty much the same. And in all of San Francisco, all of it, they end up in the same bar.
Well, it was cadet night.
Is there only one pub in the entire city?
It was cadet night.
Cadet night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, that's good enough for me.
It's like on Friday, I ran a karaoke night, so why would anyone go anywhere else?
Why would anyone go anywhere other than your pub, Carl? Apart from the fact it's in the north.
Well, yes, it does make it difficult for you guys, but even you have been.
Well, it's true. We've been once within the last year.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure every time I've been there. It's my favourite pub I've ever been to in Manchester.
And there was that evening we turned up and you needed to clean your beer lines and they had to be emptied of all the beer and we had to help you out with it.
I know, it's such a shame, wasn't it? Let's see, what is it? It's 7 lines of lager at 4.5 pints per line. Oops.
We cleaned that out. We cleaned that out pretty darn quick.
Did that well. We did do that well.
Right, let's jump back in.
I love the idea of a holographic control that can take away your hangover.
Jump back in.
Dial it down. I'd make a fortune.
Well, she says he respects everyone else's opinion. The last choice of Star Trek Academy was really good in his opinion. Generally, I'm thrilled you enjoyed it. Daniel
we respect your opinion too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. You just you're entitled to it. Daniel says Dave Giddings as a photonic being who doesn't eat. I don't have an opinion.
I think that was to do with Cisco's food.
Alan says it's the difference between Cajun Creole cooking, Cajun all the way. Give a kid access to your core programming for a day and he'll feed himself. But if you teach him how to program himself, then he can feed himself for a lifetime. Rashid says the subplot was okay.
Oh, if Sam could appear as anything, could they make her like a Dalek? That would be funny. I will attend my lectures now.
Anything with Robert is brilliant. No, it's not. Rashid says the episode was all about Sam and finding out what happened to Cisco.
But she didn't.
But we didn't find out what happened to him.
We found out nothing.
But not only was the subplot irrelevant, the plot was irrelevant too. Leah says, I would like to see the events of the episode keep prepping for, please. This was the vista after the plant prank we didn't see. Now this is meal. I want to see. I think you're using young person's speech. I don't understand.
Well, I think Leah's talking about. So we've seen the prank with the plants that took over the War College, and then there was an oblique reference to the off-gassing phase of the plants, which I guess means they probably fart.
They're a protected species, aren't they? Yes.
So that they can't be removed. Presumably, at some point, they just died back. But we've not been treated to what's going on in the War College with these plants since that happened. And this meal that Commandant Mauser was preparing for, we didn't actually get to see how that went.
Plans director J.K. Rowling.
I'm not sure I understand.
I know she's the Harry. I'm not into Harry Potter, but I don't understand that one.
I think
No,
J.K.
it wasn't.
Rowling has fallen foul of the trans community and various comments she has made or not made, and is generally pilloried as a result of that. But I'm not quite sure how the plants are relevant.
Sorry, Harry Potter's anti-trans. What?
No. J.K. Rowling has made comments which have caused offence within the trans community. And
about this chap at the Olympics who was boxed in the women's games and now actually has said he is a man after all, and is still refusing to give back his gold medal. Is this? Oh,
no.
Well, anyway, Rashid, no, it wasn't. It was awful. It was really bad. It was. I'm sorry, Rashid. It was really bad.
Let's get Luke Bug on.
As a Superman movie, it was utter hogwash. I did actually think Mr. Terrific was great in it. I thought that his character and his bit in it was brilliant. But the rest of it was utter rubbish. That was terrible. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, that was what Alan liked about Section 31.
I preferred her in Trading Places.
What about in True Lies?
Oh no, definitely Trading Places, James. Google it.
Seen the film.
Best bit of Section 31 was the credits rolling. Leah said,
in some respect, no, because that meant you've sat through the whole thing.
Do you think when I read these comments out, I should try and do an impression of the... Because I'm such a talented voice actor. I should do an impression of the person.
Go on then.
I really, really want to like it. I love it.
You're doing the Eurotrash style voiceovers, yeah?
Oh, I really, really want to like it. But I love the idea of it all. But I must admit that I find it harder. Oh, that's just me. I know the others are loving it, and that's great. I still want one of those jackets, though.
Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that the Riker's Beard varsity style jacket is a thing. And we have one each, don't we, Richard?
We do. And just quickly there, the costume department done a great job. All the costumes, I think, are fantastic in Starfleet Academy. They've nailed that, absolutely. Sorry, what's a Glee episode?
Glee, my lord, was a television series largely based around musical theatre.
Oh.
There was a lot of jazz hands in it.
Okay, right. What's the
Spirit Fingers?
What's the drinking age? I put
602 Club.
I'm gonna have to do it again. Sorry.
Also, why couldn't Sam transport the Cisco Museum? They're allowed off-site because they went to a bar.
So, just in case you haven't seen Eurotrash, Leah, this is not a jab at you. Gosh, I miss Eurotrash. Wasn't it brilliant?
Remember in 2016, on the eve of the referendum, they had a special Brexit...
Brexit Eurotrash. And it was brilliant. Man. Well, Manchester is a large place.
I think if you get in touch with a guy called Nadim, I think knows where my pub is. That's right, Nadim.
So we can all agree that we think the worst character ever in Star Trek was Mr. Hom.
Where's my little...
Wow. On the back. I mean, to summarise, though, yes, this week's episode was not as bad as last week's episode, which was the worst episode of Star Trek ever made. But ultimately, it felt like the best bits of the episode were left on the cutting room floor. It really did. I'd love to see like a director's cut of the episode. That's what it felt like to me. Any final thoughts from you, James?
Look what you've done. Well, I'd like Carl. Do we have the wish clip?
Yes.
Yes. So, that was Academy this week, but far better than Academy was the return of the Muppet Show. And is the clip available?
It is. I have it ready.
Sting first, please.
Oh, someone else will have to do that.
I'm on it.
Do you want the full?
Which Sting do you want? Do you want the
Sting?
wish? Oh, you don't want a random one.
James, how long of the clip that you've given me do you want to show?
Just like 30 seconds worth.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got the wish one.
Yeah, surely we do.
Choose a different thing then.
Yep.
So yes, this week's wish clip pays homage to the return of the Muppet Show, which was absolutely epic, with this very special edition of Pigs in Space. Roll VT.
And now, Pigs in Space! The last time we saw the spaceship Swine Trek, we hoped it would be the last time. But it's back.
3PO, activate the navicomputer.
Yeah. I'm not awfully keen on this spaceship, Master Luke. It's so messy. Cakes, half-eaten sandwiches.
Oh, will you stop? You don't hear R2 complaining, do you?
Yes, I do. He just said it's like a pigsty.
Hey, what's going on here? I'm Captain Link Hogthrob, and this is my spaceship.
That explains everything.
Why don't you let me explain? I'm Luke Skywalker. My friends and I have just borrowed your spaceship so we can rescue our friend, Chewbacca the Wookiee.
It's Luke Skywalker. One of the heavenly bodies. I'll change.
Now, is there anything else you'd like to know?
Yes, I have one very important question I'd like to ask you.
What's that?
Who's your tailor? I love that outfit.
Link, what's happening?
I'll explain later. Right now I'm talking to Luke.
Luke?
Now, perhaps if I give you my...
That'll do. So, that was Dr. Julius Strangepork who just came back in. And, I'd put up Pigs in Space against any episode of Discovery.
Well, I found it interesting that the character that came in right at the end there, was it Link? It sounded exactly like Richard's impression from earlier. Can he?
Link,
which one?
Hamstring.
Oh. It reminded me of talking about Eurotrash, a very late night Channel 4 series called TV Offal. And they had a sketch called The Gay Daleks. Google it. I'm not going to repeat it here. But that's our hour up, pretty much.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, you need to really genuinely appreciate the fact we've got new Star Trek that's out there, and I'm also genuinely thrilled we've got people in the comments who are enjoying it and liking it. If you're enjoying Star Trek, then that makes me happy. Whether I enjoy it or not, whether we enjoy it or not, whether we think it should be taking a different direction, is irrelevant. Trek's out there, people are enjoying it, that makes me happy.
It makes me happy too.
So
I'm happy that you're happy.
I mean, well, then everyone's happy, aren't they? Apart from Alan, who doesn't like Mr. Hom.
There's only one thing I think that could improve on this evening, and that would be an impression of Captain Sisko from you, Richard.
Do you want some final thoughts from Captain
I think
Sisko?
we should. Seems appropriate.
Here we go then. Buckle in, dear viewer.
I'm really pleased that you enjoyed the latest episode of Star Trek Academy, because it was mostly about me and my jambalaya. So, until next week, please do look after yourselves and each other.
Don't have nightmares.